We begin tonight with the race for the White House and former President Trump's campaign now on the defensive after his fiery rhetoric at a rally in Dayton, Ohio on Saturday night. Trump warning while discussing the economy that there would be a, quote, bloodbath if he is not reelected in November.
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering.
America.
Welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest newsmakers of the week. It's official, gang. We are in the general election season. The primaries are all but over. It's all done but the crying. We know who our presumptive nominees are. It's Trump versus Biden, as we all thought it would be. And one reason we know we're in general election mode is because the media have opened up their attacks full on against Donald Trump, as we've seen in out-of-context quotes from an Ohio rally. We're going to get into all that, but before we do, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other shows, and if you like what you're seeing here in this or any other video on the channel, smash that thumbs up button, like, comment, share the show with your friends, all that good stuff, because all that feeds the good old YouTube algorithm.
Feed me, Seymour.
Thank you so much to everybody for doing what they can to get the word out about the channel, and especially for the past 2 weeks in allowing me to take this break. My mother needed emergency open heart surgery to deal with a dissected aorta that, thank God, we found in time. It was touch and go for a little while, but she's going to pull through. We hope to have her home soon. But you guys gave me the grace of taking that 2-week break, and I really appreciate that. And for all you newbies who may be finding the channel for the first time, welcome aboard. I hope you like what you see in here in this video, talking about the fake news media getting back at Donald Trump. As you see on the screen right now, we have these headlines from Politico, NBC News, and CBS News talking about a quotation from Donald Trump about how the election is going to turn into a bloodbath if he doesn't win in November. Now, you might be thinking, wow, if Donald Trump said that, that's pretty controversial. I mean, we all know that politics is also compared to blood sports. We talk about slugfests all the time. We talk about taking shots back and forth. I even did a video once treating politics like a UFC card, where we're talking about the different advantages between the parties and all that. So the comparisons have always been there about bloodbaths, slugfests, and the like.
Politics is a blood sport.
But if Donald Trump actually said something like bloodbath in the context of what happened on January 6th and all that, it would be pretty controversial, and obviously everyone would be pouncing on it. But when you look at the speech itself, you realize that the mainstream media, Politico, NBC, CBS, ABC, and others took Donald Trump's words out of context. The best way to see if the media took Trump out of context or not is to go to the videotape. Let's see what Trump said before and after this quote about a bloodbath in the election, supposedly.
Mexico has taken, over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it, went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. A friend of
So you see the context right there. It's a discussion about the auto industry and competition against the American auto industry coming from Mexico and China, and what Trump intends to do about it. I think it's pretty clear he's not talking about a bloodbath in the context of the election. There's no January 6-isms here that are coming out. It's a discussion of what the alternative would be for the auto industry if Donald Trump isn't reelected, according to Donald Trump.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
The dead rising from the grave.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Enough, I get the point.
Now, clearly, reasonable people can disagree about the policy point that Trump is trying to put forth here about tariffs and all that, protectionism and trade. I think there's a lot of room for debate about the policy itself. But come on. Democrats are trying to make it out that Donald Trump is doing that incitement thing again that they're trying to accuse him of that happened back in 2021. I just don't buy it. But you know what? As sure as a broken clock is right twice a day, the Democrats are losing their shit over what Donald Trump said. How dare he use the word bloodbath?
Because he's even predicting a bloodbath. What does that mean? He's going to exact a bloodbath? There's something wrong here. How respectful I am of the American people and their goodness. But how much more do they have to see from him to understand that this isn't what our country is about?
And Exhibit A, folks, Nancy Pelosi taking the quote completely out of context, adding questions. See, this is what buffoonish politicians do. They will take something, they'll put a statement out there that Trump said the word bloodbath in the context of the election, and then they'll leave it as an open question to allow the person watching her come to their own conclusion. Well, what did he mean by that? Did he mean that there's going to be another insurrection? Did he mean that there's going to be blood in the streets? Did he mean that there's going to be clashes between police and his supporters? And just leave it up to the imagination of the person listening. And this is on CNN, so you know that these people are already predisposed to think the worst of Donald Trump. So this is a tactic that they use to provide the panic and the horror and the fear and instill that in their voters to make sure that the orange man must be stopped at all costs.
What I heard was a continuation of the same rhetoric, the same endorsement of political violence that we've seen from Donald Trump for years, as you pointed out. It goes even farther back, right? This is the same guy who, after Nazis marched on Charlottesville and killed a woman, said there were very fine people on both sides.
God damn it, not this shit again.
Exhibit B, everybody. This is a Biden spokesperson that is taking it to an even further extreme than what Nancy Pelosi did on MSDNC in a friendly chat with Jen Psaki. Because everybody's on the same team here, there's going to be no pushback against this statement from the Biden administration. And of course, going back to another out-of-context statement, the Donald Trump statement concerning Charlottesville and what happened there, which is supposedly the impetus for Joe Biden for entering the race. You see where it's going here. No one is talking about the auto industry here, which is what set up and followed the statement about bloodbath. It's completely out of context. This is political opportunism that is being amplified by left-wing fake news. But as I said earlier in the opening, terms like bloodbath and slugfest and slugging it out and this visualization, this visceral visualization of fighting as political campaigning, it's always been around, and the media has used this phrase often. So if they're trying to chide Donald Trump for using the phrase bloodbath to invoke images of insurrection or to incite people, then media hacks heal thyself. And you're going to see a lot of examples of the media doing the exact same thing right after this quick break. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. Before I play the clip, I want to give full credit to Tom Elliott. He's on Twitter. He put together this great compilation of different media personalities on the left and the right using the same sort of language, the visceral, insightful language of bloodbath and phrases akin to that are probably even worse. And no one's talking about insurrection. No one's talking about political violence when these media talking heads are saying the exact same thing. Look at all these examples.
But as Politico.com reports tonight on the, quote, bloodbath at the RNC, Headlines calling it a, quote, bloodbath.
Be a bloodbath. Not only is it going to be a bloodbath, but after they leave New Hampshire, it's a bloodbath on her home turf. That's really tough. Trump has left a lot of corpses in his wake. I mean, we can count the bodies.
As part of the, quote, MAGA drive to take over Maricopa County. And the headline refers to it as an impending bloodbath.
Columnist Charles Blow has a new piece for the New York Times entitled A Biden Bloodbath.
2018 midterms, you can bet that they 100% are fearing a slaughter. In fact, the word bloodbath and massacre come up frequently.
The Republican Party will be destroyed.
Are you threatening me, Pezhead?
It's going to be a bloodbath.
There's going to be a bloodbath one way or the other.
Bloodbath for Bernie Sanders.
It's been a bloodbath there, shaping up to be a bloodbath.
Head off a bloodbath in next year's crucial midterm.
Off-year elections are often a bloodbath.
This week's bloodbath for Democrats.
A bloodbath at the ballot box.
There could be a Republican bloodbath.
They'll talk about a bloodbath.
It's a bloodbath. I have to talk about you. And
It's going to be a bloodbath all day long. Is in for a bloodbath.
Hasn't been a bloodbath on the way down.
Donald Trump bloodbath. Be a bloodbath.
Predicted to be a bloodbath.
I'm not even halfway through the video, but I think you guys get the point. The word is used in all kinds of contexts. Political, financial. When there are losses on the market, there's a bloodbath. When there's infighting within a party, it's going to be a bloodbath. When there's a primary battle, it's a bloodbath. They're going to destroy the party. There are corpses. It's every type of visceral, violent imagery being used by these talking heads on both sides of the aisle. You saw Fox, you saw CNN, you saw MSDNC. If I would have kept going, you'd see online media as well. It's all a bloodbath all the time. The use of the word bloodbath in and of itself has literally no meaning anymore because everything's a bloodbath and therefore nothing is a bloodbath. So what we should take from all this, my friends, is that the media is back at their old tricks again, running cover for Joe Biden, attacking Donald Trump, and acting as hypocritically as possible when talking about the harmful language that is coming from the Trump camp. It's completely ridiculous and buffoonish. They're hacks, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of this as we enter the spring, summer, and fall of this pivotal election year.
Buckle up.
But hey, listen, that's just my opinion of the situation. I want to know what you guys think about all this. Let's get in the comments together and discuss bloodbaths. Did Donald Trump get taken out of context by the hacks in the media? Or were they right in the way that he used the phrase? Should Donald Trump be more artful in his speeches so that the media doesn't have these openings that he gives them? Let's talk about all that in the comments. And as always, like and share the show with your friends. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other shows. Smash that thumbs up button. All that good stuff. And on a personal note, before we end the video, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody for giving me the grace of these past 2 weeks to deal with things with my family. I appreciate you hanging in there with me, even though there really wasn't anything going on with the channel. I'm so glad you guys are here. I really appreciate this community that we're developing. And please keep participating in everything because we're just in March and already we've seen so much buffoonery in politics. It's going to be a hell of a year. So please stick with us. I appreciate your support in everything. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the comments where we can discuss all the shenanigans and buffoonery happening every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.